For this specialized skills task, I investigated into the functions of arrays in GameMaker Studio 2. This helped me learn coding skills necessary for my main project. Arrays are data structures similar to mathematical matrices, where a set of values is recorded in a defined order. Arrays can and will be used in the main project to develop a range of tools, including menus and information lists. This tutorial series helped me develop my understanding of arrays and other data structures in GameMaker Studio. Here are 4 different arrays. The top 2 are 1D arrays, whereas the bottom 2 are 2-dimensional. 1D arrays have a length to them, whereas 2D arrays have a length and a height index. As shown, arrays can hold varying information, often formed in patterns. The first challenge I came across was constructing and displaying a one-dimensional array. This was to be used for both menus and information lists, and could be used in future for a variety of options. To do this, I had to learn how to create an array and how to display it. In the left pane here, the basic array construction is shown. A variable is declared, and an index value representing the length of the one-dimensional array is given to each value, as shown here. On the right, a for loop is constructed. In-game, this will allow the array to be drawn in sequential order and will stop drawing when the array length is finished. This is the visual display of the array. All the list values are shown in order. For my second challenge, I expanded upon my knowledge of arrays to create a 2-dimensional array. This was to be used for a level selection menu. Here, I learned how to display information in a grid form, but how to display 2 differing sets of information, in this case, both a sprite and a string. On the left, we see a very similar construction pattern to a one-dimensional array. In this case, there's a variable is declared, and then a height index followed by a length index is given to each value. All the yellow values are strings, and the red values are sprites. All the sprites are given to the length 2 in each height. On the right, a for loop is constructed for the height, and then within that, a for loop is constructed here for the length. Both for loops will allow the array to be drawn without anything overlapping. 2 if statements were created, one to find the sprites with the length 2, and the other to find all strings, which is anything other than at a length 2. These will ensure that a sprite and a string is drawn separately. Here is the visual display of the 2D array. Length is shown by all the information in each section. The cottage life, or the name, the level number, and the sprite are different length values. The height is going from one group to the next in a stack. The third challenge I came across was altering a value within an array. In this case, I altered the sprite sub-image within the 2D array. This would allow me to show achievement for players as they progress through the levels. In one in-game object, upon the player reaching a certain point, say touching this flag, I may call it, a global variable is changed accordingly. Then in the for loops for the 2-dimensional array, this global variable is applied, as shown here, with an if statement, then applied here in the sub-image of the sprite when upon drawing it. This will look something like this. This is the blank array, and then when the player reaches the flag, which is behind my person in the bottom right corner, the variable changes and a colored version of the sprite appears in the list to show achievement has been made. I have now learnt several skills through this skill task, which can be taken away and developed upon for my main project. I have also now set up some structures for the main project, including the main menu and the level select. I can now use arrays, both one-dimensional and two-dimensional, in further areas, such as inventories or item stores, or other lists of information later in my main project. Here are the resources I used.